did you spend with Joe Biden? I'm just curious.
How much time did his senior staff spend with him?
How much time did you spend with Joe Biden?
Zero, about the same amount as his staff. Eloquent job of explaining just what a disaster Obamacare has turned out to be. It's neither affordable and there is no care. It was an act.
Actually,
what's killing your party is a failure to be honest with the American people about why you lost the last election. I am not accustomed to helping your party do anything. Yep. But let me give you some advice. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
We had to bring you in the right way, Scott, because that's how everybody knows you. Thanks for coming in here today. We're going to get to the book in a second, but do you really think at the end of this, as we talk about Epstein, these files, do you think that we're going to see the full release that everybody is thirsting for, or is something else going to stop this from happening? Right now, it's on a good track.
Well, it feels like we're going to get as much transparency as we could get. I still wonder what is going to be redacted, what will not be seen by the public. I mean, the House Republicans, it should be noted, released 20-something thousand emails back over the weekend. So there's obviously stuff to come out. What's interesting to me is I think Democrats strategically may have never believed that Republicans would do this. And they may be careful what they wish for here, because we're already finding out that Epstein was in touch with Democrat members of Congress in 2019. We know Larry Summers, the president of Harvard, Bill Clinton's Treasury Secretary, was soliciting dating advice from Epstein. We know he was trying to fundraise with Hakeem Jeffries. I think we're going to find out the Epstein political story has everything to do with Democrats and nothing to do with Donald Trump, and that could blow up in their face.
That's very possible. I wanted to ask you also, what did you make of how the White House and the president handled this? Because, I've obviously, I'm a big fan of the White House, like what they do. But I also watched as so many of the administration officials promised, especially during the transition, that this was all going to come out. And we finally got the DOJ. And then when it came to the moment, all this pushback that I thought was very disappointing. What did you make of that?
Well, it makes me wonder what there is to release. I mean, that's the thing. We've been talking about files and documents, but none of us really know what it all is or what's in there. And so, look, I guess we'll find out soon enough. I also think the president rightly believes that Democrats were using this to try to weigh down, bog down, and tie him down.
Right.
And try to create a public narrative that he had something to do with it when he had nothing to do with it. And I think he's always resistant when Democrats are latching on to things. And I think it was, frankly, frustrating to him when Republicans seem to be helping Democrats do that. So I understand his frustration with it, because he's out here cutting peace deals, passing the big, beautiful bill. And all anybody in Washington wants to talk about is this thing. And I sensed a level of frustration in him.
When they pulled the redaction last week with Virginia Giuffre, and you realized how disingenuous they were going to be with this, the first thing that went into my head is maybe he's fighting this because he knows there's going to be another 100 emails that they're going to play this game with and just torch him on. And I wondered if that was it. And obviously he knew Epstein. I mean, everybody says he's in the files. Of course he's in the file. Anybody that knew Epstein for years, that hung out with Epstein, that was in that Palm Beach crowd, that Mar-a-Lago crowd 20 years ago, is going to be in those files.
Yeah, he knew him, and we also know that he excommunicated him from Mar-a-Lago. He got rid of him.
Time ago.
He got rid of him out of his life when he realized the guy was a total scumbag and what he was doing. But you know who didn't get rid of Epstein? The Democrats. After he was a convicted sex offender, you've got him texting with Democrat members of Congress, telling them what to say.
Yeah.
So you have Trump responsibly excommunicating Epstein and Democrats cozying up to him. Again, I have a feeling we're going to learn about how deeply tied into the left Epstein really was.
Yeah, the Plaskett stuff was funny to watch, and funny to watch her try and scramble and save face today on such an embarrassing thing. And she's got such a big mouth normally, too. And this one, she got dinged really hard on this one. The media, as you would expect, is elated over all of this. I looked through the paper this morning, the rift between Marjorie Taylor Greene and the president. Every headline I saw pop up, Wall Street Journal, Politico, everything, Washington Post, all about Trump losing control. He's going to be a lame duck. They're elated over this story and the impact of it. They think this is going to be what reduces his power.
I've been hearing this same story from Democrats and the media for a decade now. It's because they're wish casting. They can't take him down. They've never been able to stop him. So they're hoping that one of these times this wish comes true. I don't think it's going to come true. Look, I talked to the president. I was in the Oval Office last night. Talked to him about this, and bottom line is he sent Marjorie Taylor Greene back in the summer some political information, a poll. He was trying to do her a favor and let her know that it would be very difficult for her to win statewide in Georgia. And since that moment, she's been a political enemy of the president, and I think he finally got frustrated with it.
Yeah, that clearly pissed her off. But it's funny because I think she has delusions of grandeur if you think she can win statewide in the state of Georgia. I just don't think she's got that. I don't think she's got that punch, in that state. And I think the president showed her that. But it was also interesting today that she made it seem like she had been so loyal to him. And I'm thinking she might have won her first election without his endorsement, but she grabbed on to that energy and what he has and latched onto that for political survival for years.
He is the leader of the Republican Party. He is the leader of the MAGA movement. She is part of it, or has been part of it, but look what happened since this summer. She's opposed the president on his Middle East policy. She opposed him on bombing the Houthi rebels. She opposed him on the righteous decision to take away Iran's nuclear capability. She's opposed him on deportations several times. And then she runs to The View, where the cast and the crowd claps like seals for her attacks on Donald Trump. Now, if you don't think this is going to be frustrating to Donald Trump, you haven't been paying attention, and that's not what a loyal member of the Republican or MAGA movement would do. But obviously, she perceived his giving her that political information negatively, when I actually think he was trying to do her a favor and save her from a humiliation.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. New book, Revolution of Common Sense. Tell us about the book.
Yes, thank you. I started writing it in February. That title comes from a phrase the president uttered in his inaugural address, and that's kind of his rebranding of the conservative movement in the Republican Party. I started writing in February. I talked to the president. I've been in the Oval Office. I talked to several members of the cabinet, interviewed Elon Musk, who has eye-popping quotes in this book, and I put it together, and I just wanted to sort of show how quickly Trump got going when he took office. He smashed Washington before it ever got out of bed. The day one executive orders, the issues he took on, and whether he knew he was signing up for it or not, he is the leader of the free world in the fight for the future of Western civilization, and I think he's leading us admirably on a number of fronts right now.
Scott Jennings, probably the only reason a lot of conservative people watch CNN. If they do watch, I hope they get you a good contract.
Well, I do okay, and I just hope everyone either goes to Amazon or a bookstore right now and picks this up, because you will learn things about Donald Trump's leadership that you did not know.